And you see, so many of our oral language patterns have a meaning base. There's a meaning base linked with them. We just need to work on that. Okay, can we... Are there any other questions about that demonstration? I would be happy to do more of the demonstrations in the term 4 if we think it's appropriate. Well, if anyone who's coming to term 4, when we do the phonological session, it would be good to have a group of children to demonstrate how to build the phonological activities into a session. Get on to.
What I would like is you get the kids here and we sit with them and we be you.
Well, that's where that was the thing I used to run at the uni, you know, and that was over a 12-week, like, you know, an hour and a half each week for 12 weeks. And a lot of the teachers did find it, well, they were all doing special ed training, but they did find it very useful to actually, you know, work with one child over, but...
Just a one-off session. I'm a maths teacher predominantly, so that for me would be very valuable before I go back and muck it up with my kids.
It would be good if perhaps each school could think through, I don't know, Lena. I mean, I really take your point. I think that's...
I think, John, what you do now is actually taking the points of analysing you, as you were going through that, because I actually am going to trial it myself, and I'm going to, I thought I'll do it to start off with the kids. Hopefully I won't walk them for life, but basically I'll try that. Then the second aspect of maybe doing that again with a different play or something, but I'll actually have the teachers that are are in the PLT watch that as well, so they can add. You know, I think it's valuable to actually add insight into your own practice as well. So I'm going to give that a go. And I'll share it anyway. I think you've got to have a bit of practice anyway.
I just came from the primary perspective, and so I'm trying to get my head around the way secondary will actually do this. When we, to me, that was a guided reading session in a primary setting. You know, if that was the way we would do it, we would have, you know, a group of children sitting, six or so girls and boys, with a text that's matched to their ability level. So that was one of the why I was asking that question. How did you choose that text for those particular girls? Now, when Adrian was saying, I'm going to trial that, how do you know what text to choose for your children? Because I think that's a really critical part of it. Rather than just saying, well, we thought this would be a good one, and then we'll just kind of hope for the best when we sit there and do the lesson as John did. Now, John spent a lot of time on vocab, because that was, in order to get the meaning from the text, vocab was critical.
We've matched some of the texts up with vowels, our understanding of vowels levels.
No, that's not what I'm asking, or not what I'm saying. I'm talking about matching it to the children's levels.
But I'm saying if you're aware of what the children's levels are, because we are now, with all the data that we've got on the kids, and that if you have a text that's matching with the data which matches with the kids, then I mean that's about our best guide. Otherwise, no teacher can put what have they got.
That the text is matched to a vowels level.
Yeah, if you know, and we know what our vowels level of our kids
How
are.
do you actually match a text to a vowels level?
You use the continuum. That's what, you know, when you had Sandra Rosario for the first, you know, you had a hell of a lot of PD, and one of those things was to be able to look at the continuum and then work that out as a faculty and look at the text. I mean, if you don't use that, what else, what does anyone make a judgment on?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so continuum.
No, the vowels actually specifies text levels.
Yeah.
It describes texts.
And
That's
there's
what.
that Kaiser flesh thing that you did too.
So it's not the flesh. It was based on other characteristics of text. Yeah.
I'd actually like to see a lesson where we all have to use the same text in Year 7 Humanities, and we've got kids at vowels level 2 to 6, and we all have to teach this at the same time, 25 kids. I'd like to see a demonstration lesson like that, because I think that's fantastic for girls. They're pretty much similar levels. We had a text that suited their level, but the reality is that we have a text that's assigned to 200 Year 7s, we're all at different levels.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we have to teach it.
But remember, our approach, and one of the key things in doing anything is really being clear on what thinking actions you're wanting the kids to learn to use. That's the bottom line with all this. What thinking, yes, and it's the scaffolding. Now I'm going to work. I would have done different things if none of those children had English speaking difficulties. If they'd all been able to speak English, if they were a typical Anglo Year 7 middle class group. No, you don't have. But if they were, but if they were, I would have done different things, because I would be wanting to have them think in different ways about the text. Now I had to adjust what I was going to do to where the group was. And Renata, naughty girl that she is, didn't give me a profile of the girls. I'm joking, Renata, of course. Didn't give me a profile of the girls beforehand. And so we adjust to where we are. One of the things about the approach that I'm pushing is that we be able to take a text and we also be clear on the thinking we're wanting to scaffold. And regardless, in some ways, of where the children are, I need to be able to scaffold them to move through that. Now, when it comes to the children learning to do the action independently, I can take this. I can take this text, and this text happens to come with a CD or DVD, so I can copy this text onto my computer. And as we said earlier today, I can put into each, in 20 minutes, with only one glass of red, I can insert a few more full stops. All the best, and thanks for all your contributions. That's great. That's great. I can insert more full stops. I can replace a lot of the two-syllable words with one syllable. I've reduced the readability, kept the meaning the same, put it more accessible. And I can have the children practicing the reading strategies in that non-scaffolding period, where they're working more on, or in maths we're having them go through and actually practice doing the problems. We can have them practice using the text at their own readability level. So I don't need to have all the children reading see, I was making a big deal before with reading aloud, by saying we had to have the children reading a text that was at their independent reading level. I also said that I would be judiciously selecting the sentences I asked students to read to in fact match the sentence they read to where I believe their readability level would be.
But what you're actually talking about now is differentiating.
Yes.
As opposed to what was commented before about what I'd like to see is this is the text that, as a Year 7 text that we have to teach.
Yep.
How do I go about teaching it to children who are not confident or at that level to be
Yep.
able to comprehend that text? So what you're actually saying is, no, what we're going to do is bring that text, the readability level of that text back down to their level.
Yes.
To support them, to scaffold them, to bring them up to that next level.
Yes. And so remember, there are two aspects to our teaching. There's the scaffolding and there's the independent work where the kids are learning to do it independently. When they're doing it independently, they need an easier text. Same topic, easier text. When I'm scaffolding them, I think we can do it. Well, we showed we could do it with this. This was difficult. It had words like barter in. There were quite a few words, woven and whatever.